horrific terror attack in Jammu and Kashmir's Pahalgam that left 26 people, mostly innocent tourists, dead. In a bold move, New Delhi has officially informed Pakistan that the Indus Waters Treaty will be suspended with immediate effect. This comes after years of Pakistan's blatant support for cross-border terrorism. India's Water Resources Secretary Debashri Mukherjee has conveyed the decision to her Pakistani counterparts, holding Islamabad accountable for repeatedly using terror as a tool against India. This comes even as Pakistan has threatened that any attempt to divert water will be seen as an act of war. India has also taken stern action against the local perpetrators of the attack. Houses of two local terrorists, Asif Sheikh and Adil Tokar, involved in the attacks have been demolished. In a related development, Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi will be visiting Srinagar today to review the security situation. India has also suspended visa services for Pakistani nationals in response to the attack. However, long-term visas already issued to Hindu Pakistani nationals will remain valid. Meanwhile, Pakistan has retaliated by closing its land and airspace for Indian carriers. The United Nations has also called for restraint, urging both sides to resolve differences through dialogue. Well, joining us to discuss these latest developments in the ongoing tensions between India and Pakistan following the horrific Pahalgam terror attack is Captain MJ Augustine, a former 21 pilot with the Indian Air Force. Thank you very much, Captain Augustine, for joining us today. Of course, we have seen escalations with this water treaty officially being placed into abeyance. Also, Pakistan closing land borders and airspace to Indian carriers. What do these worsening of tensions show towards a potential all-out war, as has been described following this water treaty being put into abeyance?
Actually, the water treaty, the effect of water treaty is not going to be immediate for simple reason. Since 1960, whenever India constructed any dams on any of these rivers, which is flowing into Pakistan, has been closely monitored by Pakistan as well as international organizations. So it's for the sake of viewers, I'm saying this, it's a World Bank driven action which was signed in 1960, and since then it has been in force. The only dam that I can think of which can hold a certain amount of water is the dam over Ramban, which also, I mean, the river which comes down from Ramban is called Chandrabhaga, which can hold the flowing Chandrabhaga water for maximum maybe 3 or 4 days water. So immediate effect of the Indus Water Treaty, abeyance of Indus Water Treaty, is not going to be not going to be there at all. But long term, the people have been fighting to put this treaty in abeyance for simple reason. India enjoys only, being an upper riparian state, India enjoys only 30% of the water that is going into Pakistan. 70% of the water that goes into Pakistan is enjoyed by Pakistan, though it is the meltwaters that is originating from India. So during rainy season, it is full. During summer months, it is full because of the meltwater. So that is how the traditionally, so 4,000 years, Indus Valley civilization survived because of the perenniality of the river. So once we put it in abeyance, even abeyance has not much of effect unless we completely cancel this treaty and start building water, I mean, capturing the water and bringing it into the plains of Punjab and beyond into Indira Gandhi Canal, the IG Canal, into the areas of Rajasthan, right down to probably Barmer. So that area is extremely fertile, but it is devoid of water. So
Captain
India
Augustine,
will be able to
sorry
enjoy.
to interject. I'm conscious of the time that we have this morning with you. How significant is it that Pakistan has closed borders and also airspace following this announcement from India over the Indus Waters Treaty?
Zero. Of the points that was raised, or 2 points that has immediate effect is pulling out the diplomatic staffs, especially the military attaché from both ends, and removal of Pakistanis who have come here for medical treatment or otherwise in 48 hours, beyond 48 hours, they will be declared illegal aliens. So these two is giving me an indication that something is brewing to 48 hours to 1 week down the road. Everything else is going to have, is symbolic. Same with the Pakistan. What it did by closing the airspace, it axed its own foot. Pakistani airline movement towards east is completely stopped because it cannot overfly India, and India is like a dagger which is going into Indian Ocean. So if there are any flights going westwards, it has to travel down south, then turn left towards Malaysia or Indonesia, and then go further. So it's going to be economically, in terms of percentage of traffic that can flow, Pakistan has axed its foot. It's also annulling the Simla Accord. India could have done it. They went ahead and did it. I would look at it as advantage India rather than advantage Pakistan. So in times to come, it will be interesting to see how Pakistani people are going to take it, A, suffer, B, and put pressure on their government, C. All these put together will get an idea as to what these effects have been on the ground. Prima facie to me, for normal Indian citizens, these effects are going to be firstly ephemeral and secondly not long lasting. It hasn't affected Indian population at all. It is going to affect deeply the Pakistani population for the reasons that I stated. Over to you.
Yes, Captain Augustine, very quickly before we move on, we have seen action with the homes of the two terrorists who weren't Pakistani being destroyed. What response do you expect as the search for these 4 terrorists goes on?
It's a needle in the haystack kind of search, and if we find them, it is going to be more of a lucky break than any systematic approach. So that is something which we need to understand. See, Pahalgam is minimum 100 kilometers from the border, and them without the local support and them infiltrating early. This out of the 4, 2 are Pakistanis, so they would have infiltrated, I would say, nothing less than a month or 2 in advance. So when General Asim Munir came up on the podium and he said, Jammu Kashmir is our jugular vein, and Hindus are this and Hindus are that, this plan was already set in motion. So what we need to understand clearly is without local support, it was not possible. And we came to know today morning, a person called Adil has been helping these terrorists to hide out. And by now they would have split up, shunned their uniform, merged into the crowd and living like normal people in probably Pahalgam, or moved up as Bakarwals into the hills along with the shepherd population. Impossible to trace, and even if you do, it's not. It will be a lucky break. And this fellow, especially one of the 4, is a specialist in killing civilians. So he's been doing that since 2000. It's like 25 years now. So he's a specialist civilian killer and cold-blooded civilian killer. He hasn't engaged with army in a direct confrontation or fight. So catching him also is going to be extremely difficult. He is not important. He is just a pawn in the entire piece of puzzle. The root cause is Pakistan, and if you cut that jugular vein, the tail will not wag anymore. Over to you.
Group Captain MJ Augustine, thank you very much